Hey there, scholars. This is Mrs. Bowers. You can't see me, but you can definitely hear me. I wanted to review some problems on the homework for the weekend. I feel as though my scholars have been really confident and successful when finding the volume of a three-dimensional figure. But today I introduced composite figures. What that means is two rectangular prisms kind of fused together. And what I advised my scholars to do is to view these composite figures as two separate rectangular prisms that had been kind of fused together. So I want to go over the homework with you. I want to start with question number 1. First and foremost, we know that we're finding the volume. So I just want to remind myself that volume means we're multiplying the 3 dimensions of these three-dimensional figures by multiplying the length and the width and the height together. So let's start with that just to remind ourselves. Now, we need to find the volume of these composite figures. So the work that we're going to do is try to visually separate the 2 different figures we see in number 1. So if I was to take off this top portion of this figure, I would have a rectangular prism. All right, so a rectangular prism is on the bottom. And then if I was to cover up the bottom, I would have a rectangular prism on the top. So what I advised my scholars to do was to find the volume of each of these figures and then add their volumes together. So if I was to start with my first figure, let's do the bottom. So I see that this figure has a length of 4 inches. I see that this bottom figure has a width or depth of 2 inches. I also see this bottom figure has a height of 1 inch. When I multiply 4, 2, and 1, the volume of this bottom figure is 8 cubic inches. So just so I know visually, the volume of this figure is 8 cubed inches, inches cubed, cubic inches, whatever you want to call it. And now I want to find the volume of the top figure. I'm going to use blue for this one so we can see the difference. Okay. I see here that the entire height of this entire figure is 3 inches. But this top figure is not 3 inches long. We have to take away this bottom height of 1. So 3 minus 1 leaves me with this object having a height of 2 inches. I see here that my length is 1 inch and my width will be the same as the original width because they have the same width, 2 inches. So now I can find the volume of the top figure, 2 times 2 times 1, which is 4 inches cubed, cubic inches. Now with these 2 volumes now, I have the volume of my first figure and the volume of my second figure. I'm just going to add those 2 numbers together to find the volume of the composite figure. 4 plus 8 is 12. Don't forget your units. And there's our final answer. We're going to do the same work for number 3. I'm going to scroll down to question 3 now. Let's work this out together. I see a composite figure, but all composite figures are separate figures that have been kind of mushed together, if you will. So I see that my first figure, I'm just going to dot this off here. Here's my first figure. It's a rectangular prism. Here it is. Beautiful. Let's find the volume of this figure first. It has a length of 8. The width, I'm seeing up top here that this width is 3, so this width must be 3 inches. And my height is 1 inch. So the volume of the first figure is 8 times 3 times 1, which is 24. Now I'm going to find the volume of my second figure. I'm going to use blue. So I know that my length is 1 inch. My width is 3 inches. Now my height, I need to do some thinking work here because this entire height of the entire figure is 6 inches. But this bottom figure was 1 inch in height. So I need to do 6 take away 1, which leaves me with 5 inches for a height. So I need to solve 1 times 3 times 5 is 15 cubic inches. With these two volumes, I need to combine them to find the volume of the composite figure. So I'll take the first volume and then the second volume, and I'm going to add those two together. So 24 plus 15 more inches. I'll start with my ones place value. So I'm going to use mental math. I know 4 plus 5 is 9. 2 plus 1 is 3. This is 39 cubic inches, or inches cubed. All right, darling, so my advice for you for the remainder of this homework, I advise you to look at these composite figures as 2 separate rectangular prisms. Find the volume of the first figure, then find the volume of the second figure, then add those 2 volumes together so that you now have the volume of the composite figure. All right, please don't fret. Please don't feel nervous. This is really difficult work. You have to think kind of abstractly, and you have to kind of be a visual thinker, visual learner. So this is going to take some time to get used to, but this is not the last time we're going to see this. So don't worry, we are going to have more time to practice with finding the volume of composite figures. All right, guys, have a great weekend.